Broadcasting from the jungles of Southeast Asia, it is time for the Ed Namrock Podcast.
Well, hello there. My name is Ed Namrock. A lot of you know me as Ed, Edgar, Fanta, Bledsoe, whatever you might know me as. But welcome again to another episode of the Ed Namrock Podcast. And before I start the podcast and dive into the Political Typology Quiz that I said I was going to take online live in front of you, I wanted to give a quick shout out to a lot of businesses that are still doing well right now, and they still need as many shout outs and support as they can. And one of them is a personal friend of mine and his wife have a restaurant off of Cesar Chavez and Grand, right there by Bunker Hill. They're called Tirsas, TIRSA''S. And they have an extensive menu. They're pretty creative with a lot of their servings, their fusions. My personal favorite, if you visit Tirsas on Grand and Cesar Chavez, is the quesadillas with the side of consomme. If you don't know what that is, it's damn good. And if you do know what it is, check it out. It's very delicious. And again, I'm always going to shout out my boys from Steel Rod. Be sure you visit steelrodband.com. Visit them on Facebook, Instagram, and I believe they have a virtual tip jar on Venmo and Zelle. I'll be sure to paste that in the description of the live stream, only because I want to continue to support small businesses. If you have a small business and would like a shout out on the podcast, DM me, hit me up. Let me know what is it that your business is. Give me all your social media handles, your website. Let me know, and I will do my part to contribute to you just by giving you a simple shout out, free of charge. I'm not even charging people for these plugs right now because I know how tough it is right now. But nonetheless, continue to support your local businesses, especially brown-owned, black-owned, white-owned, Chinese, whatever, but especially minority-driven. And the reason why is because if you're in LA, born and raised like I am, that's probably the majority of business owners. Not being biased, but I'm just saying, I'm stating the obvious. So, don't shit on me for that. We can fight about that another time. But anyway, welcome again. And what I'm going to do right now is, let me just give you a backstory and a bit of context as to why I'm doing this. I am politically orphaned. Now, let me explain that. What do you mean by politically orphaned? I was registered as a Democrat right out of high school. I believe it was selective service that we all had to register. And I was pretty excited and forgive me if I'm sweating a little bit because I just drank some hot tea because it's good for your stomach. The only thing is you hydrate faster with hot water, but you sweat a little bit. I was excited for the first election in the year 2000 when I was allowed to vote. Now, everyone who's anyone, in my generation at least, you know what happened in the 2000 election. It was Al Gore versus George W. Bush. And there was a recount in Florida. It seemed very shady because George W. Bush's brother, Jeb, I believe it was Jeb, was the governor of Florida. So I don't know if it was big brother or little brother, basically said, hey, wait a minute, we need a recount in Florida. Bull fucking shit. That was my first taste of what politics is all about. And a lot of us back then were quote unquote raging against the machine. We're raging against the system, the two-party paradigm. If anyone remembers the DNC, the Democratic National Convention at the Staples Center, when they set up that big ass fucking barricade, and the band showed up with their instruments. No one showed up with weapons. No one showed up with anything. But LAPD met us with rubber bullets, tear gas, and all this other bullshit. And all I can remember is Zach Del Rocha saying that democracy, our democracy was hijacked pretty much. And it was hijacked by, what's up, Cliff? My man, Cliff Conway from Vigester. He said our democracy was hijacked by both Democrats and Republicans. And to this day, 20 years later, totally fucking agree. 100%. Don't believe me? Look at the track record. Look at the track record. And I tried so hard to study this stuff in college. I tried so hard to study this stuff individually. What's up, Adrian? Otherwise known as Coach. Bienvenidos. And one thing I learned is that major corporations and banks are always going to get the bailouts before the people. Then 9/11 happened, and that clearly changed my perspective in politics for forever till now. And what brings me to now, that's the backstory, is I haven't voted in a federal election since that year. So it's been 20 years. Now, you might ask, well, what do you mean you haven't voted? I leave that part of head of state blank. Hey, Christina, how you doing? Let me repeat that. I leave that part for head of state, for president of the United States of America, the leader of the free fucking world, blank. I vote on everything else, especially things that take part in my state. I do. But I leave that part blank. Why? Because I have not had faith in any candidate. Yes, not even Barack Obama. When he ran when he campaigned in 2007 and then into 2008, I was not fooled. I'm like, he is just a great closer. And what do I mean by a closer? You might ask, and I know I'm talking I'm speaking in sales terms. What up, Mr. Dan Ochoa, aka Metal Dan? A closer, there's a difference between a salesman and a closer. Sorry, I got sweat in my eyes. A salesman can sell you the product by reading the script. They can sell you the product by memorizing a doctrine, a mission statement. Now, a closer basically makes that doctrine, that script, that philosophy, and makes it their own, gaslights it to whoever comes their way, and basically ends up selling a ketchup fucking popsicle to a woman in white gloves. Let me repeat that. A closer can sell a ketchup popsicle to a fucking woman in white gloves. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Because if you let me use music for example, and I use the term polishing a turd because, and I'm sure Dan's tuning in right now. He can totally chime in on this and relate. When people record music in a band, the song itself has to be good. It doesn't matter how great the quality of the recording is going to be. Doesn't matter. If the song fucking sucks, the mix ain't going to help it. And if the mix sucks, then the mastering is not going to help it. And guess what? You basically end up selling a pile of shit to a lot of people. And guess what? A lot of that happens to this day. And I'm not surprised, but I'm over it. Like, okay, we're living in a world of fucking polished turds and no one seems to realize it. Does that make sense? Yes, because I watched the movie Idiocracy again, and it was supposed to be a fiction movie. It wasn't supposed to be a goddamn instruction manual. Yeah. And Dan Ochoa says, yep, can't make a weak performance strong. Absolutely, 100%. You can't correct the pitch one bit. And look, and I have a thing about pitch correction. Everyone likes using the auto tune. Everyone likes using the Melodyne, the waves tune, all that stuff. I always saw pitch correction when I first got introduced to it in the late 90s and early 2000s with the hardware rack. It's an insurance policy. In the event of an accident, you're covered. What does that mean? If you go flat, you're covered. It'll cheat you up. Cool. If you go sharp, you're covered. Does not mean it's a replacement for performance. Because now you're talking about AI. Now you're talking about artificial intelligence. So that's what I mean. It's an insurance policy. The same thing with quantization, same thing with MIDI, same thing with a click track, all that stuff. It's just insurance. It's to get you covered. It's to give you a guideline. It's to give you a map, basically. So, and fast forward, I know I'm using a lot of analogies and metaphors, but ultimately, I'm politically orphaned because the two-party paradigm is so fucking old. Seriously. And Dan Ochoa says, if you suck at singing, you are T-Pain. Although T-Pain does sing pretty decent, he coined too much of that auto-tune, and I think he got royalties from it, if I remember correctly, but that's another subject we can dive into in a bit. But anyway, I'm politically orphaned. I'm going to take this test in front of you, and we're going to see where I stand. And you're going to learn some things about me that you probably never heard about. So let's see. Let's check this out. Let's check what this quiz is. So let me backtrack a little bit to give you context again about this quiz. And what it basically is it's going to tell you where you stand. It's going to tell you exactly. And let me make this bigger because this is, yeah, that's a lot better. You guys could see that a lot better. So it's going to tell me where I'm at politically. So here goes. So the first question, it's question 1 of 17. Which one of the following statements comes closest to your view? First statement is, the government should do more to help needy Americans, even if it means going deeper into debt. Or the government today can't afford to do much more to help the needy. Now that's bullshit. The government can afford it. It can't afford it. It needs to reallocate funds to whatever the fuck illegal wars. And of course, the whole defund the police thing. You should see their budgets. I've seen it on paper. I've been in the LA City Council fucking meetings. Yes, they have money. So no, yes, the government should do more to help needy Americans, even if it means going deeper into debt. So yeah, there it is. All right, question 2. Hold on, who's this? Hi, don't be mean, okay? Okay, Sonia, I won't be mean. I will be brazen. How's that? Okay. So which of the following statements comes closest to your view? Here we go. Government is almost always wasteful and inefficient. Or government often does a better job than people give it credit for. No, it's the first one. Government is almost always wasteful and inefficient, and I'll tell you why. 2001, 9/11 happened. We invaded the wrong country. I repeat, we invaded the wrong country. We basically punched the wrong person in a fight. And guess where our tax dollars went? Exactly. So government is almost always wasteful and inefficient. So I agree with that. You're following along and you're learning with me as we go. So, and yeah, Jessica, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. And by the way, I like your default profile pic. So let's keep going. So question 3 of 17, which of the following statements comes closest to your view? The best way to ensure peace is through military strength. Or good diplomacy is the best way to ensure peace. Well, that's a trick question because I don't think there's a such thing as good diplomacy anymore, because just like peaceful, quote unquote, peaceful protesting, that shit does not get the message across. You guys all know that. And you say, well, what the fuck? Then what's the point of writing it? Look, listen. Why do we go to war? It's to ensure fucking that things are going to change. We don't go in there peaceful protesting in Afghanistan and fucking Iraq. We don't do that. No. So, in my opinion, if it comes close to my view, the best way to ensure peace is through military strength. Yes, it is. So there we go. Should all the money go there? That's a different topic. That's where I'm like, So that's question 3 for you guys. So question 4 of 17. Racial discrimination is the main reason why many Black people can't get ahead these days. Blacks who can't get ahead in this country are mostly responsible for their own condition. Nope. That's what I'm right here. I firmly believe in racial discrimination only because I grew up around it. I saw it. I smelt it. I felt it in a room, and that shit has not gone away. So yeah, racial discrimination is a big fucking issue. If you don't believe me, check out this Twitter handle on twitter.com called Karen's Gone Wild, and you'll see for yourself. All right. Number 5, government regulation of business is necessary to protect the public interest. Hold on, let me repeat that. Government regulation of business is necessary to protect the public interest. Or government regulation of business usually does more harm than good. Well, I don't think government should regulate too much of business, especially if you're an entrepreneur and if you're self-employed. But what public interest are you protecting if you're like, selling t-shirts or you own a print shop? Would I want someone to come into my print shop and regulate the fuck out of it? No. So I firmly believe that government regulation of business does more harm than good. So I'm going to choose that one. Again, I'm learning. You're learning about me, and even me. I'm learning about myself here. So, yeah, I do know what you think there. Yes. So, okay. So question 6 of 17, homosexuality should be accepted by society, or homosexuality should be discouraged by society. Nope. Should be accepted. You like apples? I like oranges. You like men? I don't. You like both? I don't. Simple. Do you work? I work. Cool. We pay taxes. We complain about the same shit. Cool. To deny each other's differences is to deny who we truly are, man. Now, pedophilia is a whole different subject, and we can possibly get into that, but that's right now it's a very suspect and pretty creepy topic to get into, but maybe we'll get into it. So, but no, homosexuality should be accepted by society. So, all right, let's see. Hold on, Dan commented here. Hold on, let me go back. Slaves were freed by regulations. Child workers were stopped by regulations. Use of lead paint. Very well crafted, Mr. Dan Ochoa. So question 7 of 17. Business corporations make too much profit. Most corporations make a fair and reasonable amount of profit. Fuck that. They make too much goddamn money. Look at Jeff Bezos. I can show you exactly how much he's made in the pandemic, as well as Elon Musk and Bill Gates. Come on, man. These motherfuckers get bailouts before the people. Okay. I'll see how it is. All right. Question 8 of 17. Stricter environmental laws and regulations cause too many jobs and hurt the economy. Wait. Let me repeat that. Stricter environmental laws and regulations cause too many jobs and hurt the economy? Or stricter environmental laws and regulations are worth the cost. So do I think they cost too many jobs and hurt the economy? No. But are stricter environmental laws and regulations worth the cost? That's a very interesting question. I don't know much about the environmental laws. I know there needs to be. Well, I mean, I kind of think of it. Yeah, they're worth the cost, especially if this whole, the climate change thing is being expedited. And dude, I saw some shit about the polar bears going extinct. That made me sad. So, no, they're worth the cost. So I'm going to agree with that one. All right. Question 9 of 17. Immigrants today strengthen our country because of their hard work and talents. Immigrants today are a burden on our country because they take our jobs, housing, and healthcare. Are you fucking stupid? God, who the fuck would write this? Who the fuck would believe this right here? Immigrants do not take our jobs, you fucking idiots. They don't take our housing and they don't take our healthcare. They don't. Anyone who believes that is absolutely asinine. And go eat a dick. Okay? They strengthen our country. They work hard. Period. So eat a dick if you don't like it. All right, question 10 of 17. Let's see. Poor people today have it easy because they can get government benefits without doing anything in return. So again, poor people today have it easy because they can get government benefits without doing anything in return. Poor people have hard lives because government benefits don't go far enough to help them live decency. Well, growing up poor and basically from City Terrace to the Ramona projects, Aliso, Estrada Courts, Central and Vernon off of 51st and South Central. It's a socioeconomic thing. It's been around for a while. I haven't seen it got that much better, except when they begin to gentrify certain areas and everyone's rent starts going up. But poor people don't have it easy. And if you're born into that shit like that, I mean, why is a child at fault, especially if you get the shit end of the stick. So I think the government benefits don't go far enough, and they really don't. So let me see. Hold on. Adrian asked a question real quick. What's your opinion for Mookie Betts having a 12-year contract with the Dodgers? The same thing I think about Patrick Mahomes is a 100-year contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. Good idea, but I have a feeling that someone's going to get injured, and that's probably some guaranteed money. So, okay. Question 11 of 17. Which of the following statements comes closest to your view? The economic system in this country unfavorably favors powerful interest. Let me repeat that. That resonates a lot. The economic system in this country unfairly favors powerful interest. Or the economic system in this country is generally fair to most Americans. No, it favors powerful interests. Everyone knows that. Who gets the big bailouts before the people? The corporations, the people with powerful interests. They're not going to forget your $100,000 student debt, but they'll forgive a $1.3 billion fucking dollar deficit for like JP Morgan or fucking Goldman Sachs. Yeah, asinine again. All right, 12 of 17. Which of the following statements comes closest to your view? Our country has made the changes needed to give blacks equal rights with whites. Our country needs to continue making changes to give blacks equal rights with whites. Yes. It needs to continue. This is not something that just ended, and it's not something that just changed overnight. This has been ongoing with black, with brown, and other minorities, especially black. I know this because I've seen it. I lived it. So our country needs to continue making changes to give blacks equal rights with whites. So, okay. 13 of 17. It's best for the future of our country to be active in world affairs. Or we should pay less attention to problems overseas and concentrate on problems here at home. Absolutely. We have so much shit going on in this country. Have you guys ever seen the homeless population in downtown LA? But we're sending all kinds of fucking money to Israel. Why? I don't understand. All right, question 14 of 17. Most people who want to get ahead can make it if they're willing to work hard. Or hard work and determination are no guarantee of success for most people. This is kind of a double whammy because my personal experience, it's not how hard you work, it's who the fuck you rub elbows with and get into bed with. So I'm going to choose the second one, that hard work and determination are no guaranteed of success for most people. Alok Sharma, hello from Nepal. Hello from California. Question 15 of 17, two more after this. The obstacles that once made it harder for women than men to get ahead are now largely gone. Let me repeat that. The obstacles that once made it harder for women than men to get ahead are now largely gone. Or there are still significant obstacles that make it harder for women to get ahead than men. Absolutely. There's still a lot of fucking fraternization, misogyny, all that shit, because I've seen it. I've even had fucking idiots at my old job. Students say, I will never work for a fucking bitch. I will never work for a woman. I'm like, you fucking asshole. My boss is right there listening to you and she's a woman. You fucking idiot cunt, dude. So no, there's still a lot of significant obstacles that make it harder for women to get ahead. Absolutely. All right. Question 16. One more after this. In foreign policy, the United States should take into account the interests of its allies, even if it means making compromises with them. Or in foreign policy, the United States should follow its own national interests, even when its allies strongly disagree. This is very, very, very difficult to decide on, only because Saudi Arabia is our ally. You already know the shit that they got into. If you don't, look up, Google search Saudi Arabia kills journalist. Read into that. But at the same time, if we follow our own national interests when Saudi Arabia disagrees, or Israel, you know, our bed buddy countries, basically, this is tough, man. I'm going to choose, we should follow our own national. This is tough because I'm not an expert in foreign policy, but for example, I know you can't fight with your neighbors. That's for sure, like Canada and Mexico. But at the same time, with Canada and Mexico, we do follow our own national interests anyway. But we do collaborate even. See, that's where, I mean, there's no in between here. So should the country take into account the interests of its allies, even if it makes a compromise with them, or do we just say, fuck it, let's focus on our own shit? Man. Well, I don't know. I really think that, you know, I'll use our neighbors for example, Canada and Mexico. If they have the best interest of closing the borders just because we're all infected here, you know, we can't say, no, fuck you, we're going to get through anyway. We can't do that. We got to respect it. We got to make a compromise with them. So yeah, absolutely right. The U.S. should take into account the interests of its allies. So, but when it comes to Saudi Arabia and Israel, then that's a whole different story. Okay, in politics today, do you consider yourself a Republican, Democrat, or independent? Now, I don't know the true definition of any of the three, but I'm going to choose independent. As of today, do you lean more to the Republican Party or more to the Democratic Party? I'm going to say Democratic Party. And I'll submit. Let's see what I get. Your best fit is disaffected Democrats, along with 14% of the public. So I can read more in the full report and this link. I can dig deeper to see how the political typology groups compare, but this is ultimately what it says here. So this minority group mostly identifies as Democratic or leans toward the Democratic Party. Disaffected Democrats strongly believe the economic system unfairly favors powerful interests. I do believe that. And that business corporations make too much profits, because they do. Look at the fucking numbers. Look at the stocks, man. Relatively few believe their family has achieved the American dream. True. And 24% believe it is out of reach for their family. Yeah, true. Most say the government should do more to help the needy, and that poor people have hard lives because the government benefits do not go far enough to help them live decently. That's why Andrew Yang was campaigning for UBI, Universal Basic Income. So, what did Dan say? FYI, American Independent Party is a Republican group. See, that's the thing, man. Why am I grouped into all this fucking, you know, there's no, like, it's like, you got to be a member of the gang. It's like prison. You got to roll with someone or they're going to kill you. That's basically what this is. This is what it is too. only without the killing. Well, I don't know. I can't say that. In contrast to other Democratic-oriented groups, a majority, 63%, characterizes government as almost always wasteful and inefficient, which is very true. Okay. So this graph has the light blue and then the little gold. So I answered all this shit about the economic system in this country unfairly favors powerful interests. So 99%, wow, most of it. And then 65% of the general public. And business corporations make too much profit. How the fuck can 59% of the general public not agree with this shit? Are you guys fucking stupid? Seriously. I don't know about that, man. Seriously. I don't know about that. Oh, does it say disaffected? Sounds like you caught a disease. Shows another graph here. So the graph is distribution. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see it. Distribution of disaffected Democrats and the overall public on a 10-item scale, political values. Learn more about the scale. So this is consistently liberal here, mixed, like in the middle, and then consistently conservative those over here. Okay. Yeah, I guess I am what is called a disaffected Democrat. Cool. All right, there's my score. We did that and we learned something new. And hopefully you can take the test online. I can paste the link there, but Dan says, I think it's how many do you agree with? Well, there's really no, it's not multiple choice. It's like a yes or no. So, and I'm assuming that that's how politics is. Hence the two-party system. It's left and right. But another thing I wanted to kind of highlight now that we did that is I stumbled upon Reddit's advice column. And before I type in and answer this question for this particular person, I wanted to spotlight it here and possibly get collective feedback and input from everyone that's tuning in. And maybe we can learn something together about this because this is interesting. So this is the question. How do I ask for a girl's number? So let me read this. I work with this girl. I think she might like me and I want to get her number. Problem is, I feel that an outright "can I have your number" seems creepy. Are there any kind of creative ways to ask for her number, or is it just asking, or is just asking for it not creepy and I'm just overthinking it? Well, here's the thing. If this was 2004, 2005, I would say yes, ask for her number. But granted, all the shit that I have learned about females in the modern age and males in the modern age, especially the young ones, asking for someone's number is kind of like, it's like a trust thing. You want it over. And I say this only because this young generation of not just young adults, but teenagers, texting and calling is kind of non-existent now. It's usually a Snapchat. it's usually a DM on Instagram. And I would say, if anything, don't even ask her for anything. Just go in for the kill, man. And then maybe that'll come after. Like, invite her out for ice cream. Easy. It's ice cream. Invite her out for, I don't know, Chipotle, Jersey Mike's, In-N-Out, and make sure she's, vegan or vegetarian or whatever, because that usually shifts things into gears a little bit different. But that, if you really like the girl, then that wouldn't matter. But no, don't get her number. Don't ask for her at all. Just straight out fucking just ask her, like, hey, I'm going to go out and get some ice cream on Friday after work. Do you want to come? What's the worst she's going to say? No. And I don't know how you youngsters take no nowadays. But I hate to say it, and I hate to sound very chauvinistic about it, but it's a numbers game. It's like, oh, wow, hold on. Cliff has some advice here. Ask her, are you a disaffected Democrat? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Are you a consistently conservative fucking person? I don't know. No, that's random that I did actually go from. Cliff said, damn, you shit from politics into love advice at the switch of a button. Totally, man. I could switch gears like that. Hi, Sonia. People communicate through screens and it's different in person. Communication is a dying art. I totally agree. Coming from a generation that used a landline and pagers. Yeah, so, and ask her if she wants to be on your podcast. But anyway, I got 20 minutes, and I'm just gonna dive into this subject real quick, only because it's been on my mind. I don't know what to make of all this. It's very alarming. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know if there's a new diversion going on right now with Donald Trump sending federal agents while this stuff is happening in the background to distract us. And that's kind of how it seems, because everyone was telling me, like, okay, so what's going to be the distraction from what's going on? And I'll show you, and you be the judge. And ironically, I said judge, but this happened, two nights ago. Yeah, it happened on Monday. And I read about it, and I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, this is suspect. Totally suspect. It's not unfamiliar. Like, I've seen stuff like this happen before. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll zoom in a little bit so you could see. Okay, so Judge Salas. I don't know her full name. Let me see. Esther Salas, yes. Her son shot and killed, and her husband was injured, and I believe she was in critical condition as well. Now, why did Judge Esther Salas get an attempted murder case? Not an attempted murder, but why did she try to get killed by a person dressed up as a FedEx driver? Very, very interesting, right? So here's what Twitterland has been saying. So check this out. This is her. Rest in peace, her son, and hopefully her husband can come through, and hopefully she can come through. And fuck, this is all weird because 4 days ago, Judge Esther Salas was assigned a case linked to Jeffrey Epstein. And then that day, a man disguised as a FedEx employee shot up her home in North Brunswick. Her son's dead. Her husband is in critical condition. And are we supposed to believe this was a coincidence? Why? Because the suspected attack, the person who pulled the trigger, was found with a quote unquote self-inflicted gunshot wound. Oh man, dude. They called it an assassination attempt. Why is the question. Clifford said, let's see. Wasn't it a disgruntled man against women's rights? Yeah, it says right here that he was, Cliff said he was notorious for messed up lawsuits, which I think here is, he was a sexist and anti-feminist lawyer, and he didn't like Judge Salas, but rather conveniently, he was just found dead. And why was he the perfect fucking pawn for this shit? This is fucking crazy. Okay. This is huge. Why? Because it's linked to Jeffrey Epstein. And everyone knows all the names that are tied to his pedophile island. Now, what was she in charge of? She was in charge of Deutsche Bank, the Deutsche Bank case. Deutsche Bank is Trump's biggest creditor. I'll repeat that. Deutsche Bank is Trump's biggest creditor. So that bank was also fined $150 million for failing to flag Jeffrey Epstein's shady transactions. So you follow along here? You see what the fuck's going on? Follow along. It's fucking crazy. And now, yeah, all this shit's going on, and I believe it's linked to another murder here in California. This is fucking crazy. Yeah, this is fucking wild. And all this stuff is happening. And look what's trending right now. I'll just type that in because that's the first thing that's going to pop out. This is what's happening right now in Portland. People are tweeting, please do not ignore this. Federal agents have been sighted in Detroit. These agents are exclusively operated by the Department of Homeland Security and Donald Trump himself. Watch this.
May I get your badge number?
Can I get your badge number? Who the fuck are these people? What the fuck is happening? That is crazy. So Donald Trump orders surge in deployment of federal agents to Chicago and other quote unquote besieged cities. President accuses Democrats of seeking to defund police, claims that he claims that has led to a huge increase in violence. Okay, let me just say this, and I retweeted this earlier. I'm going to show you, and it makes a lot of sense because this is all bad. And Nick Jack Papas just tweeted this out, and I retweeted this earlier because it makes a lot of sense. So just so everyone is clear, sending federal agents to incite violence is the textbook definition of terrorism. The unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. So this is called Operation Legend. It's a state-sponsored terrorist operation. Don't believe me? Follow this trending topic online. It's crazy. It's man. Yeah. Cliff said, wow, she's going to get more than a badge number, a beanbag shotgun. Okay, so everyone was asking me, is this going to lead to war, to civil war? Once the live ammunitions begin to get used, and yes, that's officially a civil war. And he's down on the polls, Donald Trump is. So at this point, I think he's just scrambling to do whatever it takes to try to get reelected. But I just don't see him winning the election again. And I'll show you a video with someone I don't always agree with, but it's Ben Shapiro of Daily Wire, I believe, where he makes a lot of sense on what he just said today. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast today. But fuck, if he's not right about this, then I don't know what else to say. So check out what he said about this prediction of the upcoming election.
You have a heart out in 1 minute. I just want to know what do you think goes down in November, and how hopeful are you for the future? Because it seems to me like we're fucked no matter who wins. Because the chaos that we're seeing, the civil unrest we're seeing, it's going to either accelerate or spread one way or the other.
So I think that if we're going to hold together, we have to make a decision. Either fundamentally the American system is good but flawed, and we need to work on the flaws within the system, or fundamentally the American system sucks and was rooted in slavery and bigotry, and we need to rip down the entire system. The latter is not really a great recipe. So we can have normal political arguments within the former, or the country is toast. As far as what goes down in November, look, right now the polling data says Trump gets skunked. I mean, right now the polling data's got Biden up 10, 12 points in the polls.
But didn't the polling data in 2016 say that Hillary was going to steamroll?
On the national data, not so. On the national data, they were kind of right. So on the national data, the final Real Clear Politics poll average was like 3 points. Hillary won by.
Keep in mind, Ben Shapiro is very conservative, and he's talking about Donald Trump not winning the election.
3 points in the popular vote. The state polls were really wrong, particularly in Wisconsin, in Michigan, and Pennsylvania. On this one, because Trump is universally losing in like all the swing states and is in spitting distance in Texas, he's got a lot of ground to make up right now. Listen, Biden is running almost.
He's got a lot of ground to make up. So what do you think he's going to start doing? Yeah, he's going to start deploying all these people, all these federal agents to these Democrat-ran states. Why? Think about it.
Almost the ideal campaign. He's not alive. He's a not alive person. And as it turns out, beating a dead horse is actually kind of tough, right? He's like, because he's not threatening. He's fundamentally non-threatening. You look at Biden, and do you feel threatened by Biden? I don't feel threatened by Biden. The man's not alive. You can't threaten me with a corpse, right? And so Trump.
Well, he's a little bit threatening to children. He likes to rub people's shoulders and talk about his hairy legs. Weird.
Trump, who is innately volatile and looking for something to kind of attack,
is his own worst enemy.
Yeah. Like with Hillary, the untold story of 2016 is that Trump didn't win, Hillary lost. Yeah. People hated Hillary's guts. And the stat that proves it is that people who hated both Trump and Hillary broke for Trump pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Right now, people who don't like either Biden or Trump are breaking nearly universally for Biden because Trump is so off-putting. And I've said for a long time, politics is about the art of making it hard to vote for your opponent and easy to vote for you.
You heard that? Hard to vote for your opponent, easy to vote for you. That's the art of politics.
And Trump is fairly good at number one, and he is awful. He is god awful at number two. Making it easy to vote for him, that's a toughie.
There you go. I admire Ben Shapiro for his brain. I really do. I don't always agree with him. I don't. But yeah, I think he called it, man. I don't see Donald Trump getting reelected, and he's going to do all kinds of shit to try to, he's scrambling, he's reaching basically. Dan replied something here. Yeah, false. Is it dichotomies or dichotomies? I can't remember. Are always what smart people believe. Fuck Ben Shapiro. I say fuck Ben Shapiro a lot. I do. Let's see. If The Simpsons showed re-election, then it's happening. Don't even get me started on that. Oh my God. Oh man. Well, this is a good one. And I like to keep things under an hour because I don't want to ramble on for too much. So, what's this? On YouTube, one comment said, "Why does he sound like the Simpsons side?" So fucking true, man. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys' patience, your attention, your time. I know an hour sometimes is a lot. I've gone almost 2 hours with people, but I like to keep it short, like to keep it sweet, like to keep it informative, and let's learn together. We're in this together. Let's continue to support small businesses. Please do. I already give you a shout out for my buddy's restaurant, Tirsas, off of Grand and Cesar Chavez. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. And wash your hands, wear your face mask, and dine outdoors if you can. All right. Take care, guys. See you.